And, for example, the divide and conquer and how you can control the masses, let me just bring it down to something more closer to home. For those of you who have followed me, forever, for a while there, I did something called the Wartown Times, where I tongue-in-cheek kind of followed local government. Now, we know that your local municipalities and things like that, they're not actually government, they're companies, they're incorporated. Like, I reside in Wellston, near the fictional corporation of Warner Robins. And when I first did like the first season of the Wartown Times, I would put those little jokes and jabs in there that it was the fictional city or a corpse or a corporation. And it just, to the people in my jurisdiction, fellow pneumatics, they didn't get it, right? But that's the case. I mean, you're dealing with subsidiaries of the Corporation of the United States. Even in your local areas, unless you're in an unincorporated area, you're dealing with a subsidiary of the bigger beast system, a smaller cog, and it's a company. It's not actually government. It's a company. Their city charters are like their business license, right? And there's stipulations and codes and statutes and bylaws and all that good stuff. But your local governments are businesses, all right? Masquerading as government. Again, refer back to that chart and understand that most people don't know where they're at on the map. Like, they believe that they're acquiescing or adhering to the dictates of a legitimate government in their local area, but in fact they're going along with bylaws of an incorporated entity, a business, right? And what do businesses do? They're there to make money, right? It's about revenue. It's not about protecting your rights or, upholding the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. It's not really what it's about, okay? It's about revenue generation. I don't have to explain that to any of you guys. So when I did the Wartown Times, I was kind of tongue-in-cheek, trying to illustrate this, and that, even on your local level, what you're dealing with is political theater, that it's a show, right? It's a packaged, scripted, characters cast Netflix show. I mean, there to sell you and to create the illusion that you're actually interfacing and interacting with government when you're not really doing that, right? So I did that for a while, and obviously, if you guys have been getting my newsletters, you know that I've completely quit activism or acting like government itself can do anything other than injure the rights of the people. Okay, so I'm done acting as if you can actually make change in government, because that's delusional. You can't. It is, the corporations are, again, a part of a beast system of people who are under a spell. Now, do the people who are operating within these corporations necessarily know that? I mean, maybe some, but not to the degree that you and I know what's going on. They think that they're actually doing government when they're actually just doing commerce. So, and it goes, again, it's that way in the entire hierarchy of the United States of America under Trump, right? And that is what that is. But they put on a good show. And of course, since I walked away from it, I feel a lot better. I've gotten more actual rest and more peaceful days of, kind of doing what I want to do and living a fulfilled life. And it's not always easy, but regardless. So in the local area, this same divide and conquer kind of thing is going on. Obviously, we all have elections going on right now. And, where I've been assigned down here in the South jurisdiction, my fellow pneumatics. Now, let me preface. I believe, as the scriptures teach, that all of this illusion is a spiritual matter, and that we are dealing with powers and principalities and forces that are in the unseen. I've been studying spiritual warfare since I was a kid, and my interpretations of the scriptures, which are kind of clear, is that when you're dealing with politicians or anything like that, kings, queens, all that good stuff, you have forces in the unseen, like the angel and the demon, that are behind the scenes manipulating and influencing each politician. And then you have, powers and authorities over regions of areas, right? This is a biblical teaching. This is not far-fetched. I don't think that people around my jurisdiction get it quite as much as they should, but they should. There are forces behind anyone put in places of power, where they got some stuff whispered in their ear one way, or trying to encourage them towards, I don't know, the right side of that scale we were talking about, towards freedom and liberty. But nevertheless, I digress. In this realm, it's all political theater, right? It's a show.
That's the end of this clip, but the full episode is waiting for you. Subscribe to the Downloaded Content Podcast on Spotify or watch on YouTube. For more behind-the-scenes content and exclusive access, sign up for the Downloaded Content newsletter. And while you're at it, pick up Then Came the Flood by Daniel Louis Crumpton, available now wherever books are sold.